Hey, what's going on, people? It's J.Good of Str8OutDaDen.com. I'm on the line right now with Jarell Perry. Say what's up, man.
What's up? Yo, thanks for having me.
No, thank you. I do appreciate you calling in and taking the time out from your schedule. And just as we get started, I know that you have a new project that you're working on, the Simple Things LP, which is out March 18th. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, great. And now, from when I first, my introduction to you, the funny thing is, I didn't even realize it at the time. I received, the on the come up emails from ASCAP, and I think it was either October, September, around that time. I received something, and it was just spotlighting you as a songwriter. So initially, that's what I thought. You were just a songwriter. And for those that don't know, you did the Another Round hook for the Fat Joe and Chris Brown record, correct?
Yep.
And I heard the stories of how that record came about. But if you can give us a brief, just how did that record happen?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I've been out in LA, just graduated from college at UCLA, writing for a few years, and just connecting with a lot of different people. Had a co-writer, his name is KJ in Miami. He hit me up when he ran into Joe at the studio. He was like, "Yo, I need a hook on this. Can we pull it together?" He shot the track over to me, and we just vibed off of it over Skype, And within half an hour, we had a few versions of it. I cut the demo, sent it over, and then that was history. I didn't really think much of it until 3 weeks later when I got a voice note, and a text message, and it had Chris Brown on the hook. So
wow.
That was a really big moment for me, to have that come out and to actually have it do as well as it did. I had my friends calling me saying they heard it on the radio, and then, I saw it on the Billboard charts. We hit number 5.
Yeah, that's
on the
great.
R&B hip-hop charts. Yeah, and for that to be my first major placement as a writer is just really something to be proud of. And like you said, when you were first introduced to me as a songwriter, but really what Another Round has done is been able to open doors for me as an artist, which is, what my true passion is for the moment,
Gotcha.
So definitely grateful for that.
Yeah, and I want to talk about you being an artist and a songwriter together. Like, how do you find that balance between the two? Because for Another Round to be your first major placement, and the song goes number 5 on the charts. That's huge. And to just try to have that balance, like, okay, I am a credited songwriter, but I'm also an artist. And just to have that, the balance, how do you find that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely difficult to find a balance, and I feel like you're really more successful when you can focus on one or the other. And really, the way that Another Round came out was really interesting as far as the timing, because I had already kind of made a decision in my mind that I was going to go back to really focusing on my artist project. I'd spent a couple years just cutting hundreds of songs and working with a lot of different people, a lot of writers and producers, just trying to break it as a songwriter. And none of the stuff that I was creating, it's not only that I couldn't release it, on my own, because, you're always holding it for somebody, but it also wasn't 100% me, because
Gotcha.
I was always trying to reach out for a certain, this artist style, or trying to guess what they're gonna like, and I wasn't really able to say what I wanted to say. So, I figured, while I still had time, while I'm still young, I might as well, get back to my artist thing, because this is what I'm really passionate about. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many songs you write or how many hits you have. If you're not happy with yourself and you're not fulfilled, then none of that is going to mean anything to you.
Yeah.
So and now that the artist that I'm really happy the way my artist project is coming out. Really excited about Simple Things and the sound that we've been able to create. Me and the producer Hassan, we've been able to create like a really unique sound, and now people are going to be looking to us, for our style and our sound. And I don't have to reach for anything or anybody, but those opportunities to write for others now are going to come to me because of this artist project. So it kind of all comes full circle.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful thing about it.
Now, one of the first records that I heard from you was the record "Awkward," and the craftiness of the songwriting on a record like that. It's kind of mind-boggling, and you listen to the lyrics of it, and I guess it really doesn't matter who you are or what stage in your life. Everyone has that awkward confrontation with
exactly.
someone. And I took a lot from the record, but if you can just give just tell us, like, what did you mean by the record? At what point was you trying to come across or get across with that record?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really happy. Thank you for giving me that feedback. I've seen that a lot of people have connected with that record, and and they connect with it in different ways. Everybody relates to it in a different way, which is what I like about, which is what I try to do with my songwriting. I really try to paint a picture that people can look at and interpret in whatever way that they need to fit their life, and definitely Awkward was one of those songs, like a defining moment for myself. Being placed into an R&B box, or to just being an R&B artist, I feel like there was definitely a stereotype, and there's an identity that you're kind of expected to live up to, which was never really the person that I felt like I was. I didn't feel like I was always that smooth cat, like I wasn't going to be walking around like ripping my shirt off, on stage, not yet, at least not at this point in my career, so I wanted to really do something that was a little bit different and kind of explain the way that I was living my life at that time. People were just saying like, "Damn, Jarell, you're awkward." I'm like, well, shoot, like, I'm gonna be awkward, and I'm gonna be proud about it. Like, I'm gonna have a swag. I'll just have like an awkward swag, and like I'll just make awkward the new cool. You know what I'm saying?
And at the end of the day, you're being who you are as an individual, and that's great. Because being an artist, your audience, they have to believe you are who you say you are, in a sense. Like, it's not about just music. They're looking at the whole package. So the honesty in your music with the record like Awkward really connects with the audience. This is a very broad question, but I'm always interested to hear what an artist has to say when I ask it. Why music?
Why music? Like, why do I do music?
Yeah, just why music in general?
Why music? I think music, for me, it's been a struggle, actually. Like, I'm not a typical free spirited kind of artist. I kind of always grown up like following the rules and I actually like crave structure in a way and stability. And I feel like for the lifestyle of an artist, it's not really always like that, But music was something that it kind of just followed me, and I sincerely believe that there's something divine about it. There's this divine intervention and a placement and a calling on my life to do this, because these opportunities would show up, and I was prepared for them without even knowing it. So, and everything kind of just slowly built and snowballed into this moment where I'm talking to you, about this song that I wrote that's connecting with people. It's something that I really wouldn't have expected. Like, I went to UCLA. I majored in communications and political science. Like, I didn't play, I didn't play any instruments. It really just started out with me in a dorm room with a Radio Shack microphone and a Dell laptop, and like me just humming records like literally into the keyboard, you know? And and just building off from that, because that's the only thing I knew how to do. It's like it just was in me and I had to get it out. And that was the way that I expressed myself. So it's really, I really would say, why music? Because there's really no other choice, you know. It is what it is.
It's just one of those questions I really like to ask, just to hear this perspective of the artist, just to see where their mind is. Once again, it's J.Good of Str8OutDaDen.com. I'm on the phone with Jarell Perry, and he has an album that he's putting together, Simple Things, that will be available March 18th. And the other record that, I really enjoyed was the Getaway record. I know that's the record that you guys are really pushing right now, but it's something, I don't know, man, maybe it's just your vocals or something, but you have one of those type of voices that makes the listener zone into what you're saying. And I mean, I'm just going to say it's a gift that you have. I don't know if that's, intentional or what, but, I can really appreciate lyricism, and especially when you're talking about relevant topics. And as an R&B artist, the inspiration, like, you hear people, they say James Brown and different artists like that who may have inspired them. But who and if not who, what inspired Jarell Perry as an artist?
I mean, I think, well, first of all, thank you, and I appreciate that for Getaway. No I think there's so many things that inspired me as an artist. I look to the past and legends like Stevie Wonder, or Marvin Gaye, or Luther Vandross, or even like modern day legends we have like Alicia Keys, John Legend, Beyonce, whatever.
Yeah.
I look to those people like for my identity as an artist, and learning how to hone my craft, and the hard work and the timelessness of their music, and that's kind of what I'm always going for. But at the same time, I really try to find influences and things that are unexpected. I'm always listening to something that's underground or an indie band. Like right now, I'm not even listening to a lot of pop or R&B. I'm always listening to some kind of indie rock, or maybe like an electro band or something like that, because at the same time, I always want to make something new that I haven't heard before.
Gotcha.
And I always want to talk about something that I haven't talked about before, or I want to talk about it in a different way, because I just get bored easily. I'm easily jaded, so I always want to make sure that I'm bringing something fresh to the people, and that's how I know that I'm true to myself, because that's what I would want to hear. If I turn on the radio, like, I want to hear something that I haven't heard before, like, give me something new, surprise me.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. I'm trying to say, was there anything else that I wanted to talk to you about? I read somewhere where you got your start in the church choir.
That's correct.
How was that? I mean, you hear that story all the time about people starting in church, but
yeah, that's nothing new.
yeah, it's nothing new. But there's not too many people that, I guess, I don't know, how do I want to say this? Like, you start off in church, and I don't know how it was for you growing up, but for me, you have people that sing in the choir or whatnot that are not always the greatest singers. You know what I mean? People say that, oh, they sound good, they sound good. But how did, starting off in church really...
Kind of break out of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, how did you break out of it? And like, how did you decide that, like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I would never take anything away from my church. I grew up... I think the church had such a huge impact on who I am, as a person, as an individual, and being an honest artist first and foremost. and making sure that my music has a message, and you know, and that it's positive and that it glorifies God. But yeah, I mean, church really was the first time that I realized, you know, that I was able to cultivate like this style and this vocal arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually the first time I was in a studio. I was 16 years old because my choir was recording a Christmas album, you know, and I got picked to do a solo. And I remember we were out here in North Hollywood, and it was crazy because it was like this dark studio. Like, you could tell, it looked like some death metal rockers had been in there. There was like skulls and crossbones, and like it smelled like weed, and like, but here we were,
not your typical
recording
church.
a gospel record. Saying, go tell the world that Jesus Christ is born. You know what I mean? I'm like, here we're in this like crazy studio, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, like, this is what people do. Like, people do this for a living. They get in the studio, and I really just fell in love with it right then and there, you know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I really didn't think about it for myself, you know, in an individual. So, like, I went to school, and I was outside of that church environment, and I was kind of just alone in my own space. And I realized, you know, that all of these influences and all of these inspirations were still inside me, like, waiting to get out. You know, I didn't have that outlet anymore. I didn't have that church choir anymore to let that out. So that's when I began really going back into myself and letting that break out, you know. And it also has a lot to do with being open to, you know, jamming with my hall mates, you know, down the room, and doing open mic nights, or you know, just doing different things, you know.
Gotcha.
And that's how I was really able to grow into my own artistry.
Well, hey, you know, I do appreciate you calling in. It's been great talking with you. Once again, this is J.Good of Str8OutDaDen.com. I'm on the line with Jarell Perry. And, you know, before you go, two things. First, how can people get in contact with you?
Absolutely. JarellPerry.com, JarellPerry.com. You can also hit me on Twitter at Jarell Perry. I also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Jarell Perry Music. And everything else you could just Google, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely, you know, always on that social media.
Gotcha.
So please hit me up.
No problem. And the last thing, I always like to end on a high note. If you can, just give us something, you know, 4 bars or, you know, a hook or something. We just want to hear you.
All right. Fun. It's all you have to have when it's said and done. Feel the pain of play when the battle's won. One said and done. Oh, done. I'ma be where you go. I'll be on the road. I'ma be where you go. No impossible. So watch out for me in the background. Background. I came to find you. I'm holding on your love. Can't live without you. Gave up on giving up. Oh no, don't be afraid. I know a way we can get up out of it. We can get up out of it. We can get up out of it. I know a way we can get up out of it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, man, it's Str8OutDaDen.com, man. We're out.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.